to the wild.
Welcome back to my YouTube channel, and in today's video I'll be going through the kit that I use for a 4-day hike across the Lake District. That's my pebble. We are just now walking across the beach to dip our feet in the water, and then we can set off.
That's when people start falling back wayside into it. Sorry mate, I mean you're...
Don't worry. We're re-recording in Echo Valley. Okay, when after 3 we'll go yoo. 3, 2, 1, yoo! Here I am underneath a shirt to keep me nice and shady, because I'm a ginger and it's blistering hot out here and we're walking for 4 or 5 hours in the sun, and so I got a little bit tanned. I use that term loosely, but now we're walking along Hayes Water Reservoir. It's so hot. I think we're over halfway now to get to Shap, and then in a moment or in a bit we're going to find a place where we can dunk down and have a sneaky swim just to cool off, because out there looks epic. It's so hot and I'm so ginger. Shap Abbey, pleased to see that one, because we are absolutely bleeped. What a long day that's been. Even gates are a problem. Nearly there. Hallelujah. So on this 4-day hike I was taking part of the first 4 days of the Wainrights Coast to Coast from St Bees to Robin Hood's Bay. I did the first 4 days with my wife Naomi, and she went on and did the last 11 days all by herself, covering nearly 192 miles. Our first 4 days covered roughly just over 60 miles, and this is the kit that I took with me. I thought it'd be really good to share with people here so they can have an understanding of what you need to take when you're going on a 4-day hike. So let's start with my bag. I've got a 45 litre pack here. This is just an old Mac pack. Always in my bags, any bags I have, even if they say they're waterproof, I always fill them with a big dry bag inside to make sure everything stays dry. Because on our first day of the walk from St Bees to Ennerdale Bridge, we had 4 hours of rain, and it was really valuable to have this in my pack to keep everything nice and dry. So that goes inside my bag, and I'll put all my kit inside it there. Another valuable piece of kit that goes along with my waterproofs was a cheap £2 poncho. Because the weather was quite warm, I didn't always want to get my waterproofs out and overheat, so I could bung this over myself and my bag, and it just kept everything nice and dry, although be it a bit noisy. It's a great thing to have. So a cheap poncho there, great one, kept that accessible. My other really important stuff that I value is my camping gear. So in here I've got my Alpkit Pipe Dream 250. They don't make these anymore. This is a bomb-proof bit of kit. It's a down bag, and it kept us warm. I think the coldest we got was probably down to about 7 degrees, and I was still really warm in that. So Pipe Dream 250. I think they do. You have to check out the Alpkit website, because I know they do have ones that replace this, but that's a really good bit of kit. Small as well, packs down really light. And then I have my pillow, my inflatable pillow. This thing is a joy. I love having a pillow. It's the best ever. Then I have my Sea to Summit ultra lightweight air mattress, which is another great bit of kit. I love this thing. So easy to pump up with the bag as well. You just blow into the bag and screw it down. It takes 3 or 4 inflations, and really easy to use and very comfortable as well. And then I have this is my Soloest XL from Alpkit. I put the tent in a stuff sack here so it can pack down really small. It's inside its own bag in there as well, so I've got a dry bag in there. And then I separate my poles and pegs, and that's just the footprint that goes in there as well. These things, I separate them so I can keep these on the outside of my bag, and then I can stuff this in the base of my bag and carry it nice and well. So that's sleep system. Then we go into clothing. I've got a puffer jacket in there. That's I believe that one in there is my Alpkit synthetic puffer jacket. So really good when it's wet. I was walking in my Montane trousers, and I had a woolen t-shirt on. We were also knowing that we were going to stop at places. So our first night at Ennerdale Bridge, we camped outside the pub. So we didn't need to take too much food there, and we knew that we could dry our kit. We were very fortunate that the radiators were left on in summertime, so we managed to dry all our wet kit. Invaluable, snood, these things are wicked. You call them buffs, whatever you want. This one's a snood. Many functions for your hat, neck, scarf, whatever you want. I carry a couple of those with me. That's a really good bit of kit. I highly value those. Then along a bit more, we've got a Jetboil, or a similar make to a Jetboil, slightly cheaper than a Jetboil, but so far it's proved really effective. So there we go, is our Jetboil, kind of, or whatever make it is. Firemaple, this one is. It was about 30 quid cheaper, and it's had probably about 30 burns on it, and it seems to be going really strong. So really like that bit of kit. Nice to save some money. My cup, pop-out cup, love this thing. It's really good for collecting water out of streams and stuff like that when we run out. I didn't take with me a water filter because I was up in the hills. I was just collecting water from the running streams, making sure that where I was as close to the source as possibly could. So that's my water bottle there. It's about 500 litre. It's double skinned as well, so it doesn't warm up. I also took a water bladder with me, but that one got a hole in it, and I had this as a backup. Waterproofs, lightweight, super lightweight waterproof running jacket that I took with me, and waterproof trousers. Then we have at the end here, this is all my sort of hygiene stuff. So toothbrush, toothpaste, head torch, spare battery, and what other toiletries I need in the air, deodorant, toilet paper and stuff like that. As for snacks, now I don't really tend to eat that much on the trail, but over 4 days I wanted to carry enough snacks to keep me going, and because we were staying at pubs and in campsites and stuff like that, we knew that we could get a source of food, and then we had quick food to cook, like pot noodles and stuff like that. So if I show you this down here, my food section, I know there's about 900 calories of trail mix that I made myself. So that's got almonds, dates, walnuts, dark chocolate, goji berries, cranberries, everything that I love. One of my favourite mixes to make that. Some really nice salty salt and vinegar chickpea, things that were really great, especially when the weather was really bad. You can just pop them in, it was really nice. And then down here, selection of bars. I've got Cliff bars, and then energy bars, and then Bounties. And then for dinner wise, we'd have stuff like this, really easy to cook, kind of pot noodly type. These ones from Aldi or Lidl, I think. Food, really easy food that, right, it's got high calories in it, it's about 450 calories in there. And then sort of rice and tuna packets. All just really easy food for being out in the mountains when you've had a long day. So our days were, we were hiking anything between 9 and 12 hours a day of walking. So when you get to camp, you're pretty tired, and you don't want to mess around with stuff. You just want to have your food pretty instantly, and that's why I took that food. I'm going to do a whole episode on different types of food and what food I carry when on different trips, because it differentiates all the time with the type of foods that I have. And then also in here, some camera gear, a battery and a penknife. There we go, stuff like that, really important stuff. Charging cables as well for the phone and for the camera. And that is a kit that I take with me on, oh, and I got first aid kit, sorry. Let's go down to the first aid kit. Bivi bag as well, nice simple Bivi bag, and a first aid kit. And in the first aid kit, it's got, I design it for different trips. So because we were walking lots, potential for blisters, I put a blister pack in there. I've got painkillers, I've got lip salve, I've got another pen knife, and all my magic stuff in there, plasters. It's really good to make up your own first aid kit as well, because you know what you need. The generic first aid kits are great, but sometimes they just carry kit in that you don't really think you'll have a use for. So I adapt these and make these suitable for me. That's the kit I take. I think it weighed about 10 kilos, maybe a little bit less, around about between 8 and 10 kilos I think for this kit, which isn't too bad, not too heavy, really good. I'm not carrying like burdensome stuff. I don't even think that's a sentence, don't know what I'm trying to say there. So that's the kind of kit that I took with me, and this is how I packed it in my bag. So I put all my waterproofs, I put the poncho in the front pocket there, and then my waterproofs I'll put on the outside. Because they're waterproof, they don't need to go in a dry bag or anything like that. They can go in the top section here. That'll go in there. Now, some people like to put their first aid kit at the bottom of their bag. When Naomi was walking, she had really bad blisters, so I kept my first aid kit at the top here. It's in a waterproof pack of its own, and it's accessible to stop and help fix her blisters up, which got really bad. Then I'll put my dry bag inside my bag here, and that's ready to load stuff up. So at the end of the day, when I get to my campsite, the first thing I want to do is I want to get my tent up, get that ready, and then I've got my kit ready, and then I'll go into cooking. So this is how I set mine up. I put my spare clothes at the bottom. Now, people adapt, have their bags in different ways. They like to put their sleeping system at the bottom there. I knew for the weather that we were having and the weather we were going to have, that my raincoat and my walking gear that I had on would have been sufficient in the weather that we were having. So it was always beneficial to check the weather. And every time we stayed somewhere, because we were at a pub or a campsite, I'd always ask the people the weather forecast for the next day, so we knew, and so I'd change. So if the weather was good, if they said it was going to be quite cold, I would have kept my puffer jacket on the top, so I can easily grab that and then bung my waterproof over the top of that. But mainly the weather was just wet for the first day and then fairly warm. We were really lucky to have such glorious weather in the Lake District. So we went from Ennerdale, went from St Bees to Ennerdale, Ennerdale to Borrowdale or Rosswaite, and then Rosswaite to Patterdale, and then Patterdale to Shap. So then I'll get my cook gear, because I know I wasn't going to cook on the trail when I was out there. That was just for stopping. That'll go in next. Cup, I'll wait. Sleeping bag can go in next. Then my tent. Pillow, wedge that right in. Roll mat, that can go in there. Phone I had, so electronics, they can go in next. That's going to stay up, and then my toiletries. The toiletries are good. They went in next. Just remembering to try and keep everything as neat as you possibly can. And if you get all this down, your routine, especially over 4 days, your routine is really important. Getting into camp after you've walked for 12 hours, you're hungry, you want to get your food on, like getting your routine down there is really important. My routine was get my tent up, get my bed made, get my sleeping bag out, then get my foodstuffs ready to cook, and then sort my feet out, putting talc on or whatever, or getting my shoes off, changing into my camp kit, as in my shorts and t-shirt, and then I'll go and cook, because that'll be the last thing I'll do. And then after I've cooked, then I can go to bed, which is a really good routine. And then in the morning it was get dressed, pack all my kit away. If the tent's still wet, I would dry it as much as I possibly could. If it was still wet, then I'll just roll it up into its separate dry bag, knowing that I'm going to get to somewhere else and it can dry. Or if the day was going to be really good weather, then halfway along the trail we'll just set the tent up for 10 minutes while we stopped and had lunch, and it will dry then. So then cup goes in my top bag here, just in case I want to stop for water. Bivi, that'll go in my top pocket there as well. My dinners can go in here. That'll get rolled up and clipped up, put in there. That sits on top. Now, when I had my water bladder, before I put a hole in it, I would always sit my water bladder on top of my bag here. But because I was carrying this spare water bottle as well, that went in the side pocket. That's in there. So with my snacks as well, I'd have my day snacks. So let's say that would be a day, and then the rest will get dropped into my bag here, ready for the next few days. Clip up my bag, get that all done. Everything's stowed away nicely. Tent pole on the outside of the bag here. So snacks are in there. Do that bag up, get all the clips done. Everything ready, and that's what I would pack for my 4 days across the Lake District. And this is what I'd take with me for 4 days hiking across the Lake District, covering about 62 miles. I hope you enjoyed that video. Please like and subscribe down here and here, and we'll see you in the next one for more tips. Thanks a lot. Please like and subscribe down here. See you in the next video. To the wild. To the wild.